Some stuff that you need to know before you scan, and the two things are, know what the buttons do. When you're watching a sonographer scan, he or she is changing stuff the whole time. When you scan, you're scanning, you're looking at the screen, you're not altering the buttons. So why are they doing that? It's because they're giving technology a chance. The computing power that's going on in the scan machine is amazing, and there's ways of optimizing that. So I'm just going to talk about some of the basic buttons. So let's just talk about a scan machine in general. So you've got a curvilinear array in obstetrics, and there's a row of crystals, and they're firing an ultrasound beam out, and it hits something that's harder than the bit it's just come through, and it bounces back. It knows how fast that's going. It's about 1,500 meters per second in water, and then it times how long it takes for the signals to come back. Then it calculates the time, measures the strength, and puts a dot on the screen there. And then it goes, some of the signal gets passed, it goes a bit further, and it times how long that comes back. And then it does that across the row. It goes, fire that one, fire that one, fire that one, fire that one, fire that one. And it's sweeping across. And then it gets a composite image of the reflective areas. So stuff that's more reflective is going to give you a bigger signal. Now, if you've got a structure that's vertical and the beams are coming down, there's nothing for it to bounce off. It's not going to show up. So move your probe around here, and then it's got something for it to bounce off. So simple stuff like that, a lot of people don't understand. And be aware that each sweep is then amalgamated into one frame, and you can adjust that, and that's what your sonographers are doing. In various machines it's called persistence or various other stuff. So very often the machine will do 4 or 5 sweeps, form one composite image, and turn that into an image of a frame of a video. And the reason you do that is that you get greater image quality when you see it. But if you've got something moving very fast, like a heart, then it blurs it because the heart's moved even in that time where the sweep has gone across. So you need to understand and adjust the persistence and understand what's going on, so that if you're looking at something very fast, which is why you should use a cardiac setting for looking at hearts, then it cuts down the number of sweeps before it produces a frame, which then gives you a slightly less good quality picture, but it's better for fast moving stuff. So my favourite phrase is make sense. Does that make sense? So the buttons I'm really interested in here. Oh, have I got a pointer? So power. Power button we rarely use, but the power button is the amount of energy coming out of the scan machine. That's actually how much electricity is turned into sound. Now we don't know if ultrasound is safe in pregnancy. We will never know it's safe because everyone's going to get a scan. But we do know in vitro studies that if you fire ultrasound waves at cells, you can raise their temperature by 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. And we also know that the non-disjunction rate, the abnormal mitotic rate, goes up with the higher the temperature. So on your screen on the ultrasound is things called mechanical index or tissue or thermal index, and that tells you how much damage you might be doing with your ultrasound waves. So you should always make sure that your power is at the lowest setting that produces a good quality image, just in case. Because they use ultrasound in physiotherapy to make people feel better, so it's going to have an effect. And particularly when you look at high power situations like colour Doppler, don't put them on little tiny embryos to see if there's a heartbeat. You could be frying this little baby. So be aware of power. The other one I want to talk about is gain. Gain is just amplification. It's like turning the volume up on a radio. It's not giving you a bigger radio, it's just radio. We still have radios. Anyway, it's just turning the volume up, so it's amplifying the signal. It doesn't give you any more information, it's just making it shout at you more loudly. And of course, if you turn it up too much, you get that nasty hissy sound. So the rule with ultrasound is to turn your gain down as much as you can, and then just up a fraction. Make it go down until you lose the image, and then turn it up a little bit until you see it clearly. Then you're amplifying it at least, and then you're getting less additional noise because you haven't amplified it so much. The most important thing, though, is these two. Zoom, if you zoom in, what you should do is only have on the screen, only have the computer in the machine thinking about what you're looking at. Because what happens is you scan, you go, oh right, I'm now looking at a heart, and yet you've got all this other image that that poor computer is having to analyse. It's like doing all this work. And if you use, there's different zoom options which I haven't got time to go into, but if you just zoom that in, it's still thinking about all the stuff you can't see and wasting computer power, so you, as a result, get a less good quality image. What you need to do is to bring in the width and reduce the depth, and then zoom, and then the computer's only actually thinking about the bit you're thinking about. And I've got a little illustration of this, which is how we're going to kick off. So, how many grey dots are there on the screen? Take a while, wouldn't it? Now, how many grey dots are on the screen? There's 7. So if you're the computer, the point of this analogy is, imagine you're the computer. And you're only looking at that bit in the middle, but you're asking the computer to analyse all that other stuff. So get that down, and as a result, you'll get more out of your machine, you'll give technology